For the last 10 years I've been working on Scottish elasmobranchs. Not many people know that we have an incredible diversity of species in Scottish waters. Whenever I talk to people about the work I do, I deploy tags on sharks. They always ask me, oh, how's Australia or how's Africa? And the truth is all my work's in Scottish waters on native species of sharks, skates and rays. One of the species that I've worked with is the Tope. It's one of our native species of shark, and it's one of the ones that I've been amazed by, as so few people know that we have them in our waters. The thing that impresses me about it is it's an animal that can go up to 2 meters long. It forms large shoals. Sometimes when we're out sampling we can catch up to 100 in a day. It's a shark. It looks like a reef shark. It swarms over reefs, feeding on the fishes and other marine species that you catch, and it's prevalent throughout our waters, especially in the summer months. Now the big problem with Tope is that it's actually receives quite a high level of protection, and there are no commercial landings in UK waters. So from a commercial interest point of view, there's very little on Tope in Scottish waters. So the sea anglers have been a driving force in the knowledge gathering on a lot of these species of sharks, but in the Tope in particular they've undertaken a mark and recapture programme. Recently that's been spearheaded by the Scottish Sea Angling Conservation Network, where anglers devote their time to deploying identification tags on the animals they catch before releasing them, and when the animals are recaptured we get the information back to see where the animals moved and how much it's grown. This information has been fundamental in providing us knowledge on the Tope species. We found it swimming from southern Scotland into the Bay of Biscay and even into the Mediterranean Sea, showing the international management need for this species. I mean, the actual numbers of Tope swimming in our waters is an unknown entity. We don't have the numbers for that. However, the tagging data, the anglers have tagged thousands of sharks. Around the UK we have a UK shark tagging programme, which is a sister project to the Scottish shark tagging programme, and combined they have over 5,000 individuals tagged. The recapture rate for the Tope shark is at about 10%, which might not sound like a lot, but when you consider that other global tagging programs have a recapture rate of sharks at about 1 to 2%, we're actually very pleased at this high level of recapture, and it's providing some really useful information. So the tagging information that we get, the mark and recapture data, shows us where the animals are swimming to. So animals tagged in the south of Scotland have been recaptured as far north as Iceland. They've been recaptured frequently in subsequent years at the same place of tagging, showing that they either stay or return to the same area. But we've also had some really interesting results where fishermen of Portugal and Spain, Croatia, they're all recapturing the animals that we've been tagging and the anglers have been tagging in Scottish waters. A lot of the suspected drivers behind the migration routes are split into several categories. First of all, there's food source. They feed on things like mackerel and herring, which are native, but they're natural migrators, so the sharks follow them. The other idea is that females especially maybe travel to warmer waters in order to give birth, where the warmer waters are more hospitable for younger sharks. But if you combine all these complicated life history traits of reproductive needs, feeding needs and temperature demands as water cools and warms over the seasons, we can begin to build up a really complex picture of movement that we don't fully understand yet. There's always more work to do on these animals. I mean, we've started to deploy archival tags, which records environmental parameters such as depth and temperature that the animals are swimming in, and this is really beginning to provide some really useful information showing that the animals move into deep offshore waters over winter and they stay in shallower coastal waters over the summer. As with all sharks, skates and rays, the take-home conservation message is they're incredibly vulnerable and we need to understand them to ensure that we manage them appropriately. Regarding the Tope specifically, the take-home message is they've actually received a very high level of protection through various management and protective orders in the UK waters, but until we fully understand the relationship between Scottish waters, UK waters and wider European waters within the North East Atlantic, we can't fully manage them in suitable ways until that relationship is fully understood.